Passport into the past, Cook County, Minnesota. Grand Marais is the seat of Cook County government. The first courthouse was built in 1888. Later it became a pool hall, ice cream parlor, movie theater, and bakery. One day the wood stove overheated and it burned down. A new courthouse was built in 1912. Sam Zimmerman was the courthouse janitor for 28 years. Sam lost his right leg when it froze while he was trapping. Local legend has it that after his one-legged tracks were seen in the snow, Devil's Track Lake was named after him. Harry Davis robbed the Grand Marais post office in 1916. He escaped from the Cook County jail by sawing through the bars. Davis, alias the Count or the Kaiser, was finally caught trying to rob a safe in Wisconsin. Behind the courthouse is the old jail that Harry Davis escaped from. Building roads with horse teams was difficult work. It wasn't until 1928 that the highway came through Cook County. Highway 61 looked like this in the 1920s. In 1900, United States Customs was just a little log building on the U.S.-Canadian border. Farming was backbreaking work. The land had to be cleared of rocks and trees before anything could be grown. Everyone helped out on the farm. Julia Walker is carrying a pail of milk. Early families raised much of their own food. Homesteaders built hand-hewn log houses. The Thibodaux boys lived with their family on Gunflint Lake. The boys are pictured here with Charlie Johnson. Charlie was an early jack-of-all-trades. Early settlers Charlie and Petra Boostrom raised a big family and built a beautiful lodge on Clearwater Lake. Dog sleds provided winter fun and transportation. The birch bark canoe was an important means of transportation for the Ojibwe. The canoe was also used for fishing and to harvest wild rice. In this picture, the Blackjack family may be checking wild rice beds. Among the Ojibwe, women did much of the fishing, except for ice fishing in the winter and spear fishing in the spring. In this picture, Catherine Boyer Scott is mending a fishing net. Early 20th century artist Anna Johnson created etchings and paintings of the North Shore. The Johnson Heritage Post in Grand Marais is home to a permanent collection of her work. Hovland fisherman Helmer Aakvik became well known for his heroic rescue attempt of Carl Hammer in 1958. Aakvik rode out a horrible storm and a freezing cold night in his open wooden boat on Lake Superior, searching for the 26-year-old fisherman. Carl Hammer was never found. Kara Thomas shows how to dress lake trout at Tommy Eccles Fish House. Commercial fishing was an important Cook County industry until the lamprey decimated the trout in the 1950s. Today there are few commercial fishermen in Cook County. The Civilian Conservation Corps gave needy young men work during the Great Depression. Between 1933 and 1942, there were 16 CCC camps in Cook County. The CCC fought forest fires, planted trees, and completed other public projects. They were paid $30 a month and sent most of it home to help their families. When Maud Small and Laura Pepple moved here as young teachers in the early 1900s, they lived for a summer in a canvas wall tent. Logging began here in the late 1800s. Large companies hired lumberjacks to cut the old-growth timber, especially white pine. At one time there were many lumber camps, workers, and railroads. By 1920, most of the large trees were gone, and the big timber companies moved on. Music for this project was performed by the late great jazz musician and educator Frank Gillis.